Hey, good evening. It's 5:59. We'll call this meeting of the Mount Vernon City Council to order. We do have a quorum present. Appreciate all the council being here tonight. And it's great to see the public here too, so thanks for everybody that's attending this evening. If you'll bow your head with us, Kathy's going to lead us in our invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you for this time to make decisions. We pray, Lord, that you would just guide the council and give them wisdom and understanding and discernment. Pray, Lord, that you would guide their every decision. Pray that you will just help us to accept things as they come. Help us to see the better and good for all. We ask these things in Jesus' name.
Amen. Please join us for our pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, if the council has had an opportunity to review the September regular session minutes and the September and October financials, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll do a motion to approve.
Motion from Rebecca.
Second.
Second from Harold. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. All right, on report on items of community interest, I'll start us off here. Go Tigers, right? So great to see Mount Vernon win round one and off to play a very tough team in Malakoff. But I tell you what, the boys have got better every week. It's been fun to see the coaches and the team just continue to get better playing together. So if you get a chance, go watch them play, and if not, it's on that NFHS app. Some of the restaurants around play it. I know we do too at the Chop House and the Bullpen. Y'all probably do it at Tags. So find somewhere to watch it if you can. But if you can't get down to watch the game, they're doing really well. So keep them safe and healthy on the way there and back. I also want to read a letter from our Senator John Cornyn. Veterans Day was over the weekend, so I'd like to have done this in advance, but I'll do it now. Is that me that's echoing? Maybe. I'll back up. This is from Senator Cornyn, though. It says, "Dear fellow Texans," it's a well-written letter, so I thought Kathy, and that's what we're looking at, so we ought to read this. "Dear fellow Texans, on this Veterans Day, please join me in honoring the brave men and women who have served our nation in the U.S. Armed Forces. Each year, I'm reminded of my father, who served more than 3 decades in the U.S. Air Force during World War II. He flew 26 missions over Europe as a member of the Jack Ross crew in the 303rd Bomber Group, known as the Hells Angels, a fitting name for those who embodied what it means to look evil in the eye and fight and win. I know many of you also have friends, family members, and loved ones who have served in the military on land, air, or sea. In Texas, we're blessed that more than 1.5 million veterans call our state home. Millions more are spread across the country, but all have courageously answered the call of duty and fought to defend their fellow Americans. Now more than ever, we know that freedom is never free. It is earned and paid for by the fearless patriots who put their lives on the line to preserve and protect our citizens, our republic, and our liberties. Today, I encourage all Texans to join me in reflecting upon honor, courage, and selflessness demonstrated by all who have donned the uniform. To the heroes among us, thank you for your service. To the families of these heroes, thank you for your sacrifices. Our nation is forever indebted to you, and I'm proud to fight on your behalf in the U.S. Senate, where you can rest assured that my actions in support of our military members, veterans, and fallen soldiers will match my words. May God bless each veteran, our service members, and their loved ones, and may he continue to bless the United States of America. Senator John Cornyn has a real well written letter, but it's also, you can tell that's from his heart. So anyway, last weekend was Veterans Day, and I think all of us have, whether it's family or friends or kids or friends in the military right now with all this going on in the world. It's a pretty tough time probably in front of us, and just keep God's hands around all of them. Does anybody else have anything by chance you'd like to share on community interest? Okay. All right, so citizen participation. Do we have some folks who'd like to speak during citizen participation? Bobby, did you want her to go first? No pressure.
Alice Berger, 1190 County Road, Southwest 3090, Mount Vernon, Texas. with Oasis Church. Good evening and thanks for hearing us. For almost 30 years, my husband and I and our team have raised money for children to go to camp, church camp mostly. Most of those years have been right here in Mount Vernon at Prosperity Bank parking lot. Last year we sent 65 kids to camp, and these are kids that otherwise would not get to go. This is low income, single parent families. Our fundraisers give these children an opportunity to earn their way to camp. They don't just get a free ride. It's not a handout. They have to come and they have to work these fundraisers. Whether that's peeling potatoes, whether it's holding a sign, they have to physically do something. And this teaches them pride, first of all, that nothing in this world is free. They're going to have to work for it. And it also teaches them that they can contribute. When they start out, they may be just holding a sign out there. But as they get older, they may be running the cash box. They may be doing customer service. They may be doing who knows what, you know. But it teaches them a skill that they take into adulthood. We've had in the past employers call us and say, hey, do you have a kid that's willing to work or needs some work? And we've offered children we knew that needed a job. And this helps our community. It not only helps them, it helps our community. It builds our future. And this ordinance that we've been, I know y'all know, it affects the churches. It affects our food banks. It affects Boys and Girl Scouts. It affects our Masonic lodges, fire departments, and all other nonprofits. I personally don't think that it was an intent of the city council to discriminate against us or our fundraisers, but that's what it's done. And we're asking you as a city council to correct this wrong and to allow us to raise money for our children and to better the community. Thank you.
Sure.
Same thing, name,
Every person.
every person. Bobby Berger, County Road 3090, Mount Vernon, Texas, and Oasis Fellowship. And I know most of y'all a lot of y'all have come by and supported our fundraising activities, and a lot of y'all know friends with, and it's just something that I will tell you that when we first bumped up to it, I was a little upset. I'm not going to, because I felt like that something that we had done for so long to support and help support the kids in this community is being greatly hampered. And something that we do to help the community is we raise money, help the band, send kids to camp, and I've done it before to help raise money for people that are going through cancer. And so I'm just coming to you to ask you to look at this and make some type of modifications that we can continue doing this in a profitable spot, not just somewhere in the county or in the city, that we can do it where we make money. We do barbecue because that's just something I've done for 34 years next March. Scary, ain't it? But and I've done barbecues in all kinds of spots in this town. And finding a spot that you can do it and justify setting up and raising money, that's been the hard thing. And I know that we weren't singled out about this, but it was just had to be an oversight. But I want y'all just from us, allow us to figure out. I don't have a problem with the permits. I don't have a problem getting the health inspector to look at it. I ain't got nothing to hide there because it's my best interest that we serve quality stuff to the community. Our name and reputation is riding on it. And so I just want y'all to take some looks at that and see if we can't make some kind of path or something for not just us, but other organizations in this town that are nonprofits, that we don't just have to tag with an event. Because truthfully, and I've done this long enough, you can tag with an event and you're really helping the event. And sometimes you'll make money there, but you're not going to make a lot of money. It's just not a money making. And that's from 30 years. It'll help out and it helps both of us out, but it is not where the money really sets at. And so I just kind of, I just want to share my heart tonight with y'all on that. And let you know that please help us in this, that we can continue to keep our community strong and our children, because we do invest in children that otherwise, like I said, last year we took 42 children camp, and somewhere around, I think we had around 50 kids go to teen camp. Otherwise, you just would not get to go unless we raise money, and you ain't gonna do it with car wash. So, and that's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything they want to share tonight? Okay. And this will be a topic later in the agenda item here too. So we've got a few things to a hearing and whatnot, but we'll touch on it a bit here in a little bit. Thank y'all both for doing that. So we have a public hearing this evening. It is 6:10, and I'll open the public hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to hear evidence for or against a request made by Terry and Amy Garner to replat their property located at 819 Miller Street, Mount Vernon, Texas, one lot into two lots. And Terry, is Terry here? Yes. Oh, okay, Terry, come on, Terry. These are the lots across from where the old baseball fields were, right?
That is correct, sir. Yes, sir. Terry Garner, 819 Miller Street. And basically what it is there's a single lot that I purchased with the intent. The whole intent was to change that lot eventually. We started off as 3. We've changed it to 2 because all the lots on that street going to the north are a quarter to a third of an acre lot. There was actually 2 properties. There was 2 houses on this property before, and there's already approaches and everything. So what we're doing is we're basically just wanting to cut that lot in half. It's 0.62 of an acre. We're just going to cut it in half, build 2 small 1,000 to 1,200 square foot 3-bedroom houses that we can sell for at a decent price. And that's what we're trying to do.
That's pretty cut and dry.
It's pretty cut and dry. There's nothing. It was a big dispute about it because somebody else owned it. It was a Franklin County thing, but we've got all that arranged now. And quite frankly, the biggest thing is what I paid for the lot. In order for me to get out from under it, I would have to build a bigger house if it's only a single house, and was not my intent. My intent was to build houses that, when I was talking to a real estate agent, my intent was to build houses for coaches or teachers or somebody like that because it's close to the school, and that was the intention. And they just don't make enough money for me to justify what I paid for the lot. So anyway, that's the intention.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any, want to speak to that topic? If not, do I close that and open another one? It's all one, right? Okay. We'll move right along to the second part of our hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to hear evidence for or against our budget amendment to the 2022-2023 budget, reconciling overdrawn line items. We'll catch up on that here in a little bit too. Does anybody have any comments along that line? If not, it's 6:12 and I'll close the public hearing. Items to be considered. Consider an act upon approval of ordinance 2023-06, request made by Terry and Amy Garner replatting 819 Miller into 2 lots. So we need a motion to approve them replatting that lot.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion from Marty and a
I'll
second
second.
from Mary. I can see you there. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for building some homes for us over there on those lots. Those have been sitting vacant too long. They're perfect for, just like you're identifying teachers or coaches or whoever.
Yes.
Starter homes, or whatever you want to call it.
Anyone else needs to sell some, just let me know.
All right. Well, go build those right quick.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 3, consider an act upon approval of ordinance 2023-32, amendment to the 2022-2023 budget. I'd ask Craig to give us a couple of bullet points here, but as y'all know, throughout the year, we've had some wows show up that we've dealt through, and fortunately been able to deal through it very professionally and manage the financial impact, but still just to kind of recap on the year.
Yes, Mayor and Council, it's been quite a year this last year. In the general fund, we had overtime that were related to the June storm power outage for pretty much all of our staff. We had electrical and natural gas leak repairs here at City Hall that were unanticipated. If you remember back in February of last year, we had an ice storm and we had major limb pickup all the way through town, which was unbudgeted. Council approved the MHS strategic plan during the year. We also approved the KSA design guidelines. We had to replace the ceiling. We had ceiling repair and generator issues at the fire department. And we had increased fuel costs related to the storms, all out of the general fund. Out of the water and wastewater fund, we had some significant expenditures too that were unanticipated. We had replacement of the sewer main on Nyla and Rutherford. We had a manhole failure and repair at Turner and Pecan. We had manhole repair and wastewater line collapse in Brookshire's on Highway 37. We had big-time wastewater and raw water pump generator needs during the June storm to keep those plants operational and keep us in water and keep us be able to treat wastewater. And then in March and April, our wastewater treatment plant failed, and we had major costs associated with sludge removal and also just repairs there at the wastewater treatment plant to get it back operating. And then we also had an unanticipated aerator failure at the wastewater plant. So if there was going to be one disaster this past year, we caught them all, I think. So, but we survived.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and I tell you, it's we've done this month after month of meetings. I just couldn't be. I think the whole council, for everybody, couldn't be happier with the way the team has answered every one of those challenges. And members of the community and others have jumped in at times too. You know,
Sure did.
but it has. It's been one of those years. It's been a great year to be in Mount Vernon and in Franklin County and just see everybody jump in and work together. But it did cost us a little money we didn't plan on. Obviously, it was a full event. So, but with this, we will need to amend the budget. So we would need, if there's any questions from the council, feel free to ask too. And if not, we need a motion to amend the budget. Motion from Mark and a second from Mary. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all. All right, item 4, consider an act upon approval of interlocal agreement with Franklin County on our city roadways.
Yes, Mayor. The Commissioners Court of Franklin County has approved or has offered a interlocal agreement to help us with our road repairs, which they've done already this past year, and this just formalizes that an agreement between the city and the county. I have to say this, I'm very grateful that we have them. They have the equipment there. We pay for the materials. They do the labor. They've already done a couple of streets. We've got a couple more lined out for them, and they're also going to help us trim some limbs to create better visibility and passability. And I'm very grateful that we have a strong relationship with the county, with the county commissioners. So I would recommend that we sign this. This agreement will carry us through this fiscal year.
Is it anticipated we're gonna do it again next year? We needed this for a while, it's gonna save
Yes,
us a
sir.
lot of money.
It's already saved us a ton of money, and yes, sir, we're all playing in the same sandbox, and we're playing well together, so we're gonna keep that going.
Yeah, one big happy team and family. And we say a lot too, where the county seat, you need to act like it. The last several years, I tell you, the city and the county are working so well together,
Well, it hasn't always been that way.
and it hasn't always been that way.
Why,
That's right. Exactly right. It hasn't been that way. So, again, great to be on one team working together. We will need a motion to approve that.
motion,
Motion from
Second.
Mark, second from Rebecca. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all. Item 5, consider an act upon approval of awarding SGL utility contractors the low base bid for Carthel and Arrington Street water and wastewater improvements. Finally getting to the point of getting this finalized?
We're gonna get this done, and this is a grant-funded program, and as you can see, SGR came in significantly lower than the other bidder on this. I have to say this, that we've had if it wouldn't have been for SGR this year, we would have been up a creek, because they have been there to help us at every turn when we had some serious. They were the ones that took care of Nyland Rutherford. They were the ones that helped us in front of 37 Brookshires, and they have always been extremely conscientious, fast, and done excellent work at an extremely reasonable cost. And so I would recommend that we go with them as the lowest bidder on this project and get this thing started as soon as we can.
Thank you. So we'll need a motion to approve.
I'll do a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Harold. All in favor?
Aye.
Look forward to seeing that one done finally. That's probably one of the worst ones too.
Yes, it is.
Okay, item 6, consider and act upon casting votes for Franklin County Appraisal District Board. Do you want to populate that one up there, Kathy, or is it necessary? I don't know if it's necessary, but this is I mean, I don't really know why we do this, but we do it.
We have 201 votes, and we have to cast them for somebody. We do not have a controlling vote, but we have them, and they want us to use them. The school and the county carry the most votes,
Yeah,
but they have to use our vote somewhere, so.
here we go.
You want to split the county?
Well, you can.
Yeah, how many people are
Yeah.
on the board? Who are they?
They're all on the board?
Roger, Scott, Austin Purrier, Ralph Robertson, Jay Scott.
Are currently serving.
But Lee and Scott have asked not to be removed.
They have.
They have asked, they do not want to continue to serve.
I thought Scott had to be on it.
Do I?
I thought county judge had to be on it.
County judge, you have to.
Maybe
Apparently
not.
not, he's not.
Okay.
Who else did you say?
saying Jay Scott?
And this morning, the county cast all of their votes for Mike Ramblin, who was their selection for a replacement for Scott.
So they just want to make sure that's good, okay. So for us, Scott doesn't want to be considered, and I don't know.
What about
Wait.
Jay Scott? You say he doesn't want to be on it either?
I'm sorry?
Jay Scott, you said he did not want to be on it?
He's asked not to be renewed also.
Okay. And I don't know Wakewood. Does anybody know Wakewood? I don't know who that is.
No.
I've worked with Chad.
Chad's great.
There were 5 that was.
Can I make a proposal?
Sure.
See what y'all think about taking Roger, Austin, I'm okay with Mike too, Ralph, and Chad, and dividing those numbers there. I don't know I have a hard time voting for some of them, who they are. May be great too, but need to get to know them first.
You need a motion?
Yes.
I motion.
Does that sound, okay, I've got a motion.
You motion to what?
To what?
To split the votes between, go ahead.
Roger, Austin, Mike, Ralph, and Chad. Let's get somebody, yeah, we left Jay off, who wants to left off when we don't know Wake.
Means everybody gets 40 except for one, they get 41.
How about,
Okay, okay, you're doing Roger, Austin, Mike Ramblin, Ralph,
and Chad.
And Chad.
You can give Mike the extra one since he's gonna get it anyways, because the county threw all their votes out.
Okay, it's got a motion from Mark,
You said Chad.
I'll second.
a second from Rebecca. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank y'all. Okay, now we're under our discussion items. And we could move the mobile food ordinance ahead of KSA if that's over.
If that's okay with Brittany. Okay.
So, and thank y'all for coming and speaking too, and as like with anything, I'll tee it off, if that's okay.
Sure.
There's a few things that come into play around all the food ordinances and stuff like that, but food safety is one, and obviously it's kind of black and white for me, there's a football field around food safety and whatever it needs to manage to. There's another piece for public events where you got sanitation, so you gotta be able to handle folks coming to an event. Y'all's are more of a pop-up, fundraiser, but some of the things we have are more of a small events and maybe there's no bathrooms, there's things like that we're trying to get to a point where everybody understands if we're gonna have an event, food safety, there's no question about if you show up that food's been managed safely, right? So that's kind of, we're gonna let, you know, the health department dictate that part. And then sanitation, something we don't have in place today, but we're gonna get something more kind of defined, is if you're gonna have that event, there's porta potties and a place to wash your hands, right? So how can you, we've had people having to use the bathroom in parking lots, you know, well, we don't need that to happen, especially as the town gets busier. So those kind of things are gonna sit over, you know, we'll definitely have that for all of us to manage to when we have our events or whatever. As it comes to locations of food trucks and things like that, and it is got to be a trend where food trucks in particular, where they have food truck parks, and it really helps the public find a spot to go to where there's 4 or 5 or 6, you know, cool things to choose from. You may not like that kind of food, and I don't like that kind of food, but you're all going together and enjoying eating off food trucks. That was, I think it's a good idea there. As you guys bring tonight, good thing you bring forward too, right? Say, hey, what about our fundraisers? And maybe there's some opportunity to look at that and massage that a bit to make sure it fits y'all's needs, because I'm with you. I want the kids going to camp and raising money to help do that. We want to make sure that's happening. We're a Christian community, and we all want to see those things happen.
So,
Greg had a good idea.
yeah, so, you know, as with any ordinance, you always want to look at it and see how effective it is and if it needs to be tweaked. So it's been 6 months since we passed ordinance 2023-26, a mobile food vendors ordinance. And we've given this a lot of thought, and you know, it's a staff suggestion that the mayor establish a committee comprised of council members, staff members, and citizens to review the ordinance, and if needed, to recommend any amendments to the ordinance, bring it back to council, and let's amend it, you know, at the next available meeting, so we don't drag this out, but which would be November 27th. So that would be our recommendation, and we'll just let you pick who you think needs to be on those committees.
So I've done a little pre-work on this, and the rest of it tonight, but I'd ask Marty and Rebecca. Rebecca's worked in the food industry, and Marty as well has a business in the food industry, and so 2 council members. I also need Kathy and Craig, because you guys got to manage to these things, and it's good to be able to make sure that that's there from City Hall. And would you 2 guys be game to be from the citizen side to come join us? Would that be great? What I think it could take is probably a couple hours together. And I don't think a working lunch may work, because Rebecca's schedule, I was asking her, she may be hard to get her for a lunch during the week. But by chance, maybe we could talk outside of this meeting, maybe like at 3 o'clock, you get out of work in the afternoon on as quick as we can, even
Yeah.
Wednesday, possibly.
That's good.
City Hall, we could have refreshments and sit down together and kind of go through the here.
Wednesday.
Do it here, 3 o'clock Wednesday. Does that work?
This coming Wednesday?
This coming Wednesday. That way, in advance, we have a meeting on the 27th. Be great to kind of tidy things up and,
They were first, sorry.
but how badly do you need to be there?
Huh?
How bad do you need to be there?
They can't run without.
Sorry.
At 3 o'clock.
Dude,
Y'all meet at 3?
I have to get ready. Could you do 2 to 5 or 2 to 4?
Rebecca's got work.
The community needs me. I cook for them.
Main thing is I want to try to get us together before, that way we can have it on our agenda, which we can have it on the agenda anyway for the 27th. But I'd like to be able to get together, that way going into the holidays.
Yeah, the next week, everything's out.
Yeah, I would assume it's hard for you guys, but maybe not. Could a Monday, Tuesday work?
I can make it work.
You got too much trouble.
I
A
can do it.
Monday.
Monday? Could y'all make a Monday work?
That's Main Street. That's Main Street.
Is it all
Not
day?
at 3 o'clock. I'm talking about 3 o'clock, 3 to 5. We'll be done by then. There's a couple hours together. It's gonna be plenty.
You're saying like on a Monday at 3 to 5.
Yeah, meet like here. And that way if we get done and your Main Street meeting will be right here. She'll be on site for that. Is that okay?
So that'd be the 20th?
You good with that, Rebecca? Let's lock it away and call it if that's okay. So,
Thank y'all.
yeah, so next week, 3 o'clock Monday, we'll meet here, have refreshments, and we'll spend a good bit of
The 20th, Monday.
Sound like me with my wife. Don't let me forget. anyway, we'll look forward to going through that and making sure we find ways to keep everybody getting your fundraisers done and stuff like that too. Y'all think you'll better understand too what we're trying to accomplish there, but very much appreciate it too. Sound good? All right. So, do you want to go right to KSA? I know Brittany, you drove this
Y'all
from out
can
of
go
town.
if you want, or you can stay if you want, 'cause it
Absolutely.
gets more boring from here, so.
I'm gonna go eat something.
Y'all have a good one.
Bobby, we'll see you
Thank you.
Monday. Thank y'all. Keith, nice to meet you too. See you Monday.
I don't know, wastewater and water is exciting.
Did everybody leave?
We're getting to engineering stuff, it's always,
It's
Y'all have a good
exciting to
it's my
me.
blood pumping.
You know what, you lost your audience.
We're talking about barbecue, I'd stay, but now we're beyond my.
Engineering's boring, I guess. Well, I'm Brittany Smith with KSA from Longview. I've been here before, so it's good to see you all. Thank you for having me. And I came to discuss a defund application with Texas Water Development Board. So earlier in the year, we had applied for the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, and the scoring was lower on the list for those, so the funding wasn't offered for that. Now, they do have another option, which is the defund loan. The rates are a little bit higher than the clean water, but they're still better than market value on the interest. Now, we've looked at some of the deadlines for this. There's a deadline December for this defund application, and we've been in discussion with somewhat Scott Galloway. I think he's come to speak with
Yeah,
you
he's
guys
been here.
before. For the Texas Water Development Board for a pre-application meeting this week, hoping we can try to get with the city and him, just like a Teams meeting, if you will, maybe Thursday or Friday. So we'll get with you guys on the schedule for that. Now, I said the application was due on December. They're looking at funding. If you apply, funding would be awarded summer of next year. So that's kind of the turnaround on the timing for that. You can do a couple of different options. You can apply for just engineering, or you can apply for engineering construction for the loan. So I wrote down a couple of the interest rates in case you're interested in that right now. They are changing, of course, but like a 20-year loan would be at around 3.9%. A 30-year is 4.38%. And that's a little bit higher than the drinking water and clean water we went after. Those are around 3.5 to 3.3%.
Can any of those be refinanced or are they locked? Do you have to go 20 or have to go 30 years, or could they be refinanced along the way?
I will have to confirm that.
Okay.
Because I think you can, but I just want to verify.
Sure.
And one of the benefits to this is you can still go after clean water next year, say for construction. If you do design now under the defund, then you can go and reapply for the clean water and drinking water state revolving fund that's at the lower interest rates.
How did we miss that? What were we missing on that loan?
So,
it kind of got lower priority?
yes, you're competing against lots of other cities,
Right.
and they rank you, each city, based on your project and what your needs are. So if a city is having, say, issues at their wastewater plant and they have violations, you would score higher.
So there were cities with worse violations than us, I guess.
Or,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just, I want to understand,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yes.
Oh, no, that's-
we're all friends.
Yeah.
well, they actually post these publicly, so you can look and see. I can't remember where we fell on that list, but there's a lot of competition for these loans, and some of them even get partial principal forgiveness, which they call. It's not really a grant, but part of it's kind of free money if you qualify for disadvantaged communities. So there's a lot of competition, and each year you may score in a different place depending on who actually submits for it. So if you try again next year.
And what's each submittal cost us?
Well, the good thing about
It was like, for them to do the PIF, I think it was like 5,000.
Okay.
So it wasn't that expensive for the submittal.
but you can roll over a bit
Yeah.
for the next
Once it's
year.
done. you know, we'll just update it a little bit.
Well, hopefully
going
all
over.
these cities are in better shape next year, and if we reapply next year, maybe we'll
Right.
be
Well,
on the list.
And I
I
think
mean, is
the,
that kinda how it works? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
each year you're gonna be ranked in a different position depending on your competition.
How far off are we?
I don't
You remember?
No, but we can, I mean, we can.
we can
sit down and
research
pray.
I
that.
just know we've got a lot to do, and I know this is the only city I know about, but it just, I guess there's a lot of cities in worse shape. Cause we're in
I guess
pretty bad shape.
We have a lot to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the application for the revolving is in March,
Yes,
so we're talking from December to March.
yes. So you could resubmit the project information forms for next year in March.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yes, we were thinking that. We were also thinking about the possibility of going with the D fund just for engineering, to take a look, to see the scope of what
Keep moving,
needs.
they may find more
yeah.
stuff.
Well, and right now, what we've identified is obviously phase 1 and phase 2 of the wastewater and water lines. We've also identified the need for improvements at the wastewater treatment plant, significant improvements and expansion of the wastewater treatment plant. And we've also got some preliminary estimates on about 9 miles worth of raw water line, which is going to have to be replaced at some time. So we're talking about a total of 20 million.
For construction, everything all. in.
Everything.
It should be a little under that, but yes, that would be a
Yeah,
good number to
it's
start with.
Ballpark.
Mhm.
So, so I think that, it'd be, in our discussions, ours being KSA and staff, is that let's go ahead and get the engineering done, identify where those actual costs are gonna be and where those real needs are gonna be, prioritize those needs, and maybe go ahead and borrow the money with the D fund to go ahead and do that part, and then target these projects one at a time with the revolving and the drinking water fund.
The bulk of this has been done already. The KSA work to identify the,
On the lines. Yeah, on
phase
lines.
1 and 2 and
Mhm.
it's,
We have-
At the same time, simultaneously, we're doing the rate study, which is 50%, 60% done. So that'll probably be done shortly after the first of the year, and that's gonna go hand in hand with giving us information on what we can afford and what we can't afford, and how soon we can afford it. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Didn't we have a bond that drops off this year? Do I remember that right? Or am I
But
wrong?
remember when we did the refinancing, we rolled those two into one, so it kind of lowered it, and the payment this year will drop as well.
So, I didn't mean to steal you.
Oh, no, you're fine. One of the things when we talked to Scott, hopefully this week, is talking about refinancing, like someone had asked earlier about possibly rolling that into a clean water. Say if you got offered the clean water funding in March and you had this defund, can you roll that in? Can you refinance that? The other thing that we could definitely ask him is if it changes your possibility to receive funding through clean water. If the design is done and all you have is construction, do you score higher with that possibility?
What's left to do on the engineering? You said most of it was done, or what are we talking about?
None of the engineering's been done on the raw water line.
raw water line, yeah.
Okay.
None of that has been done. I don't know how much has been actually done on the wastewater treatment plant. That will require some, I think, just preliminary engineering on that.
We did quite a bit of work on the wastewater treatment plant engineering. We spent some money for this goes back,
For the
started
ARPA,
3 years ago.
with the ARPA funding that they,
The ARPA funding, but that's being paid by, that's not included in this ARPA money.
It's part of but there's engineering work done for that.
The COVID money is paid for that.
But there was engineering work done, paid for. That wasn't happening otherwise. I mean, y'all did a good bit of engineering work there as well. It's not from ground zero.
No, it's not from ground
I just
zero.
wondered, what are we looking at in engineering fees that we would need to finance it?
well, that's a good question I have. So we have some estimates that over the past couple of years we put together for the phase 1 water, phase 1 sewer. The wastewater plant had
aerators, adding a final clarifier, sludge digester, tertiary filters, chlorine contacts. So those are some things that, like you said, we've
Yeah.
looked at it from an engineering standpoint. We haven't designed anything, but we have evaluated where we are and what the improvements could be.
Yeah.
Cause we just bought one machine, or we just bought a new machine,
And there's
For
other
a
work they're
press,
doing
that's
down
your
there.
sludge dewatering
Right.
press,
Right.
yes.
but that's part of the sewage, right?
It is at the wastewater treatment
Yes.
plant, yeah. It's one
Okay.
of the processes for
Right.
treatment.
Right.
But this is for aerators, clarifiers, sludge digesters. That's a little, it's,
I just meant we've done some work
Oh,
over there,
yes,
is what I
yes.
meant.
We've done a significant
Yes.
amount of work
Yes.
over
Yes.
there, but we
And
still have
the
a
project-
significant to do.
Right.
for the arbor project, sorry, that's just now wrapping up. There was some significant work that's been done out there. And then the raw water line replacement, which he mentioned is close to, I have about 7 miles on.
Maybe 7.
We get done with this, you might go up playing chess during the afternoon.
Oh, I'll find something else, don't worry. Brittany, does on the wastewater, the estimates that you guys have come up with, that does not include acquisition of land?
No, it doesn't.
So we have to buy some of the land to be able to expand, at wastewater, to be able to do. So that's another cost that hasn't been identified yet. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So you had asked about the engineering fees for those 4 projects that we just kind of briefly went over. I have an estimated about 1.4 million. I do want to confirm that and get that with Craig later this week, but that's where I was looking at for engineering fees for those 4 projects. Raw water line replacement, wastewater treatment plant improvements, expansion, and then the phase 1 water that we had talked about, we went after the clean water, or drinking water for, and then the wastewater line replacement, which was the clean water state revolving fund that we went after.
And how long does that process take? You know, if we do it, how long does it take to get all that engineering back?
Design.
A couple weeks.
I wish it was a couple of days. I would need to give him a schedule on that. If you don't
I'm
mind,
just
let me.
ballpark, I'm just
Mm.
curious, cause if we're talking about, you know, this comes around next year, you know,
Right. Each one's gonna be a little different. And we're talking, so on the raw water, you're talking 7 miles of line. How can
You don't ever take a day off.
I got dinner at home.
Yeah, it's gonna be more than 6 months of work, so I can tell you that, but I would like to just get you a better schedule for those multiple projects.
But if we submit the PIF, the project information form in March, we won't know for 6 months whether we're even going to be accepted. You know, actually, we didn't even know it was more than 6 months, you know. Yeah, it was longer because of other stuff that they were doing, but, so it would fall within possibly that.
Well, that's right, like you said, so if you went after the defund and were given, you're not gonna receive the money till summer of next year. And then the PIF application would be submitted in March, so that's kind of going on at the same time. And you wouldn't know until maybe September if you would be offered money through the Clean Water State Revolving Fund.
By then we know whether we can substitute the revolving for the defund.
Yes, well, I'm hoping we can figure that out later this week in our meeting.
Good deal.
Are there any questions on the defund? And these rates change, obviously, so next summer when it's actually, when you would receive the funding, I'm not sure where the rates would be.
Yeah, I would like to know if we could refinance on those loans if we went with the default.
Okay.
Cheaper 10 years to do this.
Yes.
And it's cheaper to do it today than it's gonna be in 10 years.
Mhm. Well, if nobody has anything else for Brittany, I know she's gotta drive back to
Thank you.
It's not, but thank you,
all.
yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being here tonight.
And
If we
I
don't
will-
see you before the holidays, enjoy your holidays too coming up.
Okay,
I mean,
I
that's- Bye.
We'll talk. Okay. Thanks, Brittany. Be safe. You might need your purse.
Special meeting, we can,
On November 27th, we're having a special meeting. The major focus of that meeting is we're going to have two presentations. The major presentation is the strategic plan from MHS Design. They will be here. We've invited EDC to participate in that meeting, and please invite all the public that you want to invite. It'll be kind of, this is the final draft, and it'll be kind of our last chance to get comments, and I just got a copy of it about 15 after 5 this afternoon, kind of doing some edits on it. I think everybody's going to be even more pleased than with the ones that you've already seen. So, pretty excited about that. We will also have a presentation at that same meeting by Safe Build. Safe Build is a company that provides plan review, building inspection services, health inspection services, and code enforcement services on a contractual basis at a very reasonable rate. It's a national company. It's been around for about 25 years. So they're going to do a presentation on theirs. We had an opportunity today to look at their software program, tracking. It will revolutionize the way that we do that. So there will be action items on that meeting. We'll be able to take actions, and we'll also probably have on that same agenda any amendments, if necessary, to the mobile food vendors ordinance. So it'll be a pretty active meeting. We don't really anticipate anything else for a December meeting, so we would be open to taking a holiday.
a December holiday.
A December holiday.
That was my question. Is the 27th taking place to the 13th?
It could.
As long as we don't see anything urgent need. If
So,
we have a need, we'll meet for sure.
what
but
are
if not,
your-
take off.
What are your thoughts? I mean, I know what you think about this company that does the code enforcement. What are your thoughts I mean, we have a code enforcement now. So is your thoughts are that goes away and this takes care of this, or this is an addition to what we currently
My thoughts
have?
now is that if ours retire, that this is something worth looking at.
Okay. I just want to know where your mind was in looking at this.
That's where my mind's at
Okay.
on that.
You could-
Outsource it, it'd save us a ton of money, and I think that we get pretty high quality services.
So maybe it's useful for building plan review and those things, and at some point when you have a retirement, then you can bolt on the inspection and other things
Exactly.
that you start, and then it's,
And right now, I think we're going to start seeing some. Probably seen from my updates that we're probably going to see some needs for some plan review, some significant plan review. So I think that workload's going to increase over the next 2 to 3 years. So we would probably have to be outsourcing some of this anyway.
What's the name of that company, please, again?
Safe built.
Safe Build.
Yeah. Oh, okay. If we're ready for the next item, the only other report that we have that y'all haven't received. Well, I have a little one. Show them those damn pictures first.
We went to the Hoover Dam this year, and it was so funny because you go up to the board up there. Have y'all been there?
yeah.
And you got the funniest thing was Amy goes up there. She's not gonna say it, okay? So she gets up there and she goes, "I have a chicken sandwich," and the lady goes, "We're out of chicken sandwiches." She goes, "Well, just give me the damn burger then."
Because it's called the damn burger.
It's called. That's what it's called, right?
I don't know if any of y'all got a look at that before, but you couldn't fight your way through it with a machete.
I was having trouble recognizing it.
Yeah.
No, it's not
It looks
recognizable.
great.
It looks great.
makes TCEQ very happy.
I'm there.
East Texas Land Services. He took out all the trees.
Hey, you got the email on the water tower that he sent to later today? Has everybody seen that yet? He sent an email out, right? I don't know, what, about 4 or 5 o'clock? It's got a picture of the light of the water tower. Okay, I didn't know if you had your
Yeah.
email on there and could pull it up or not. It's kind of cool.
And speaking of that, we've had some problems with the manufacturers on those lights, and Lanny and I have been communicating today, and they're going to get that resolved. They're working on it right now, and we hope that it's all resolved by the Christmas parade.
That would be great.
And I told them that puke yellow isn't gonna fly.
Oh my
So.
gosh, it was bad.
He didn't send that.
It was a green, that's
I
like a
probably
Grinch green. It was
Well,
bad.
it was good with the full moon.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got it right here. I'll show it to everybody.
Well, I don't think that there's enough lights, and I don't think that they're hung right. I
Yeah.
think they need to be further out.
We'll get it right though. It's gonna be pretty when they're done, but we're not there yet.
Hang on. As soon as it gets done here.
Oh, this is
Oh,
Lindale lights.
Lindale's light. That's from,
Camera tonight. Check this out. City of Lindale lit up their historical water tower. It's a way to beacon and attract locals and visitors to Blackberry Square downtown. Mayor Jeff Daugherty says it's all part of a project that started a couple of years ago.
No, it's been longer than that.
Downtown Lindale.
I started it in 2014.
took them a while, didn't it?
Well, I just like the water tower itself. It's not very long.
Those old water towers like that are cool, witch's hat or whatever they call them. Is it the name for those in there?
Witch's hat.
It is.
There it
It
is.
is a witch's hat, yeah.
There it is.
Miranda Lambert and enjoys whenever she comes to visit Lindale. Looks like our little birthday.
Another guy taking credit for all your work.
I don't care about that.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
Christmas lights
Oh, yeah.
are gonna be gorgeous. Rebecca wanted them on at the 5th of July.
They're gonna be
I've been
fabulous.
watching every day.
Other
Like,
towns have Christmas lights, but not like ours. Ours will be fabulous. We have the best lights in.
The
It's gonna be
mayor
great.
will live
Start selling
with
Trump
this
over there.
Merry Christmas before the parade starts.
It's gonna be pretty that night. It is. The town's looking. Town is always beautiful, but it is really getting spruced up.
Before the parade starts. When they leave over yonder, they'll light the tree. Or Miss Merry Christmas tree.
Hey, one last thing. You said something about this in one of your emails. We're having issues with the wall around the
Just a
square
little
here.
bit.
I don't know if everybody knows what's going on with that. There wasn't a footing poured.
There wasn't a footing poured to the wall, and that's why those cracks are there, and they will continue to deteriorate over time as the soil settles, and it will eventually collapse.
There's a song written about it.
Yep.
Wall comes tumbling down.
Wall comes
Well, it's
tumbling
just
down.
another thing that wasn't done right,
That was bad, wasn't it?
and now we're having to fix it.
We're gonna have to
All the
fix
other
it.
things we've got to fix.
But it didn't have any footing support, right?
No, it was poured right on the soil. No, it's, I mean, and it was poured in several different pours because you can cut through some of it and it's just hard like granite, and then you get to the center portion and it's just crumbled. And
Didn't we already talk about the wall as we were putting in the sidewalks and things?
they looked at it, yeah.
There was sidewalk money left over, but there wasn't enough money to,
Yeah.
so we took what we could get, which was sidewalk.
So the only solution appears to be to go ahead and dig dig for footing outside of where the existing wall is, about 12 inches before the asphalt starts, and then pour footing, and then build another wall, and then cut the existing wall down a little bit, backfill it, fill it with more soil. So you have a brand new wall.
And that's what you think you're gonna do, but we don't have the money to do it yet.
Well, we're looking at the costs associated with that. But we don't want, any churches marching around blowing a trumpet. We definitely don't want that.
Depends on how the school.
It's just something else that I didn't know if anybody had heard about, but it's not going to get better. That's the point.
No,
It's going to
it's not.
continue to get worse. A piece of it could collapse. We don't know, but if the water pipes don't collapse first, our wall might collapse.
But we'll get there.
It's got a spring up there, I mean, you know, it just, there is.
Really?
So the guy's supposed to check on the island
Yeah.
today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I forgot to tell you, so they pulled the backhoe across it and the whole wheel and everything went down to the frame.
I saw the whole,
It scared me, scared me bad.
yeah.
So it's like 4x4 now. SGL can come look at it.
I just had Chase and them bought their first little house around the corner on Fleming, so I drive that route often because he keeps having me come help him with stuff. And I
So
noticed
they've
this
already
dirt
filled
coming
it
out of a
in.
little hole.
The
Said,
guys
"That
have
looked
already
right."
filled it in once.
It was that sinkhole.
Another one.
But Kyle said when he came out of the backhoe, he could smell cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna tell you that, I forgot.
Mercy.
Are we gonna decorate the, river?
We have no more money for decorations. We have sewer problems. What got us in this problem to begin with? We have nice pretty lights and underground just going to hell. You needed a motion to adjourn
Yes.
on that grumpy note?
Yes.
I'm gonna take over Harold's job when he quits.
What's that?
Motion to,
I'm gonna
second
take
from
over your
Harold.
job
Second.
when he quits.
Did you
Second.
Second from Harold. All in favor?
Aye.
Again, I mean, I love it,
So
but
how you doing, neighbor?
Okay, so y'all know Michael, he's usually never here.
I was gone.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
I took a week up to Omaha, Kansas, and Nebraska, and Iowa, and